Meghan Markle's Netflix fallout didn't start with the program underperforming or the contract getting canceled. It started with cardboard placards, rap music, and a video she never should have made. The whole incident spun out of a moment she thought would be empowering, daring, maybe even famous. Instead, it lighted a match Netflix was already soaking in gasoline. Picture this: Meghan at her own home, phone propped up, screaming rap music, holding up homemade cardboard placards like she was back in high school drama club, but with actual stakes this time. Each sign had a studio name on it. Not the ones she loved, but the ones that rejected her. Paramount, HBO, Blumhouse, Netflix. One by one, she tore through them, hurled them aside, ripped them up. Then came the Netflix sign. That's when the footage took a hard turn. She walked up to the camera, looked square, into it, and let free. Not just a few words of frustration, she aired out every dark area of her Netflix experience. She alleged toxicity on set, talked about producers who silenced her, and even divulged details about Netflix projects that hadn't been announced yet. Things Netflix was planning to unveil months down the line, completely spoiled. To top it off, she told the whole plot of the first 4 episodes of her show's second season, before the trailer had even been out. This wasn't some random social media rant. It was a blatant contract breach, and the wild part, it wasn't a hacker, a leak, or a whistleblower that brought this to Netflix's attention. It was her own agency and manager. They saw the video, frightened, and reported her. That's when all hell broke loose behind the scenes. Netflix, already embarrassed by how poorly the first season of With Love Meghan Jin did, was trying to salvage what little anticipation they had for the second season. They, having already pulled millions of dollars from the marketing budget, plans for a big trailer premiere in late July were scrapped quietly. The new tactic: keep things low-key, pretend the program isn't a train wreck, and hope no one notices until it's too late. But Meghan wasn't having that. She felt abandoned. Netflix wasn't marketing her work, so she took matters into her own hands, and in doing so broke many provisions in her contract. Talking openly about behind-the-scenes drama, forbidden, spoiling. Show plots, absolutely not. Leaking undisclosed Netflix projects, that's a legal nightmare. The video, though unreleased at the time, existed. Meghan apparently agreed to hold off on posting it for now, but she's still threatening to leak it once season 2 is out, stating she wants to tell her truth and explain what really happened on set. Meanwhile, Netflix has already looped in legal teams and is quietly preparing to go after her if she does. And here's the kicker: Meghan wasn't apologetic when challenged. She doubled down, saying she could do whatever she wanted, called out her staff for betrayal, accused Netflix of sabotaging her. It wasn't a PR meltdown. It was a full-blown declaration of war. And now she's left alone, agentless, managerless, and banned from most of the studios she insulted in that video. This entire mess didn't just damage Netflix, it put her career on a cliff's edge. And what makes it worse is that the closer you dig, the more it becomes evident this wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment thing. Meghan had been planning this move for a time, and the cardboard placards, they weren't just props. They were a message, a warning shot. Ted Sarandos didn't even flinch when the footage was shown to him. He sat there, arms folded, gaze riveted, on the screen as Meghan tore through the logos and unleashed her monologue. According to one insider, he didn't say a word for a solid 2 minutes after it ended. Then he turned to his legal team and stated, "We're done with her. Make it clean." That's how fast things unraveled. Meghan felt she was exposing the system, but what she really did was hand Netflix every justification they needed to bury the partnership, for good. Internally, they were already on edge about her. The show hadn't hit figures. Viewership was way lower than predicted. Critical reception harsh. The audience score was in the dirt. Season 1 was planned to be a daring personal effort that redefined her post-royal image. Instead, it became a punchline, and Season 2 wasn't looking any better. Netflix had quietly been shifting resources away from it. They pulled ad money, relocated social media staff, and transferred promo slots to other projects. Meghan noticed. She felt iced out, but rather than negotiating or even confronting the issue professionally, she went rogue. That was her playful rebellion. The trouble is, Netflix isn't just a streaming platform. It's a corporation with contracts, confidentiality agreements, and a reputation to defend. Meghan's claims about toxicity, about mistreatment, about creative suppression. None of that was new to them. What crossed the line was her decision to spoil unreleased material and expose confidential studio strategies that hit the legal threshold. What was once a personality clash morphed into a violation of trust on paper. Her representatives didn't merely report her to Netflix out of fear, they were trying to save their own necks. Their reputations were at danger too. They had pushed her to executives, vouched for her reliability, convinced Netflix she could carry a program on her own. After the video surfaced, all of it crumbled, and it wasn't long before Meghan started turning on them too. Behind the scenes, she was outraged, accused her crew of sabotage, claimed they were jealous of her independence, said they wanted to control her image, but the fact they were just exhausted. One of her longtime team members allegedly told a friend, "We spent 2 years putting out flames. This time, she lighted the whole forest." Even Netflix's top execs were caught off guard by how far she went. Greg Peters' co-CEO was alleged to be clearly shaken after watching the final version of the video. Not because it revealed anything devastating, but because it was so erratic, so off-brand, so self-destructive. He summoned an emergency meeting with marketing and legal, and by the end of the day, a discreet decision was made. No third season, no side projects, no off-the-air appearances. They weren't simply pulling the plug, they were cutting the cord totally. Still, Meghan wasn't backing down. She doubled her efforts behind closed doors, reaching out to lesser networks, indie producers, even trying to sell herself for documentaries on the entertainment industry. She started painting herself as a whistleblower, a truth teller, someone brave enough to stand up to Netflix. But those cardboard signs, they weren't encouraging anyone. Studios perceived them as warning flags. Nobody wants to take on someone who might torch the place on their way out. Netflix isn't spending time waiting for another outburst. Their legal staff has already assembled the timestamps, contracts, and video breakdowns. If Meghan ever shares that footage, even as a deleted scenes gimmick or under the veil of artistic expression, they're ready to hammer her with everything they've got. Multiple terms were broken, NDAs, confidentiality, even competitive disclosure. This isn't petty revenge, it's about setting a precedent. If a high-profile figure like Meghan can burn bridges openly without consequences, it opens the floodgates for others. There's discussion that Netflix may pursue damages, not only to recuperate lost marketing money, but to set an example of what happens when a partner weaponizes their own platform against them. They've done it before, quietly behind closed doors. But Meghan's case is different. Her entire performance is on camera. There's no way to spin it. And even if she maintains it was merely performance art or a personal message, the contracts say otherwise. Meanwhile, the fallout's spreading. Netflix has put any future royalty payouts from the With Love Meghan project on hold. Meghan's team is trying to contest that, stating that the footage was never formally published, but internally Netflix is labeling it intent to distribute, and that's all the justification they need to start freezing payments. Other studios are staying quiet publicly, but behind closed doors, the message is plain. Hands off. Meghan's name is now being flagged in submission filters. Agencies that once struggled to get her meetings are suddenly restructuring, not taking on new customers, or just staying silent. She's not blacklisted in the formal sense, but the unofficial sense, loud and clear. One industry executive reportedly described it best. She brought a sword to a handshake. They were all willing to work around her eccentricities, her requests, her edits, her last-minute rewrites. But leaking confidential initiatives, ruining your own show, and burning your collaborators in front of a worldwide audience, that crosses into dangerous area. Even her fan following is divided. Some are still backing her, claiming she's brave for speaking up. But even among supporters, there's misunderstanding. Why destroy your own show? Why target the very platform that gave you creative control and millions of dollars to establish your brand? The answers don't appear strategic. They seem personal, emotive, maybe even impulsive, and that's the basis of the whole situation. Meghan wanted control over the narrative, over the way she's seen, over the story of her life after royalty, but she selected the wrong battlefield. Streaming giants don't quarrel in public. They reply with silence, attorneys, and locked doors. And now that she's on the outside, she's seeing exactly how small the entertainment world becomes when you're known as the issue, not the talent. Reports claim she's seeking to rebrand again. There's speculation about a podcast revival, maybe a book deal. Some even believe she's thinking into producing content herself, skipping studios altogether. But credibility is hard to rebuild when your last major collaboration resulted in legal threats and scorched earth. Netflix, for their part, has already moved on. Their new campaigns are targeted elsewhere. Bigger shows, safer bed. With Love, Meghan will quietly drop, possibly with minimal promo buried amongst splashier titles. No press tour, no premiere event, no grand farewell, just a quiet upload, a few weeks of awkward tweets, and then nothing. And Meghan, she's left with a video no one wants to see, a message no one's willing to hear, and an industry that won't forget what she tried to do, no matter how many times she alters the script.